Hello there YouTube, it's your boy 3 back with another kicking graphic novel review. We got some Marvel for you today. It is The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, The New Sinister. This is the 2022 run that everybody hated. From Zeb Wells, Ed McGuinness, John Romita Jr., and Marcio Minez? Something like that. Anyway, let me read you the back of the book. It's Spider-Man's 60th anniversary, and Marvel is pulling out all the stops. Oh, yikes. Someone from Spidey's past has captured the Sinister Six and used them to create a truly terrifying, sinister adaptoid. Can the webbed wonder possibly triumph against the might of an android that boasts the powers of all his deadliest foes, who he defeats in a group anyway? Why would that actually be a big threat? And who is the face behind the adaptoid's attack? Brace yourself for one of the biggest adventures in Spider history, and you won't believe how it ends. Plus, Norman Osborn is back. But what does he have planned for Spider-Man? One of the biggest status quo shakeups in years will shock you as Spidey does a new costume with accessories that dons a new costume with accessories that looks vaguely familiar. Is that a glider? Collecting The Amazing Spider-Man 2022 number 6 through 8 by Zeb Wells, Dan Kibblesmith, Jeff Loveness, Dan Slott, Ed McGuinness, John Romita Jr., David Lopez, Todd Knock, Marcos Martin, Mark Morales, Wade Vaughn, Gnawbadger, cool, Cliff Rathburn, Scott Hanna, Marco Menez, Diligent Lima, Eric Arsenega, sorry, Nathan Fairburn, Rochelle Rosenberg, and Mooney Vincent. Marvel, rated T for teen. Sorry about the name butchering. Anyway, the new Sinister. So, the new villain is the Living Brain, but it's like a Brainiac 5 looking Living Brain. And then Peter is actually on time for something and still somehow ruins it for this party. But then it looks like Doc Ock shows up, but it's actually J. Jonah Jameson. Doc Ock's tentacles are on him. And Felicia Hardy, who I like more than MJ. Sorry, folks. Felicia Hardy is helping out. But, Spider-Man saves JJ. Then the tentacles attached to him, which was one of the theories of what Superior Spider-Man would be, by the way. Peter Parker with permanent Doc Ock tentacles on him, who went crazy or couldn't return to being Peter Parker or something like that. So that was interesting, actually. And I quite like this art, because this art's not Romita Jr. It's very good. Romita Jr.'s art isn't bad, but everyone's heads are so square, and it is off-putting. But Peter finds the super adaptoid with the powers of the original Sinister Six, who admittedly looks pretty cool. Admittedly. It's a cool fight and stuff. But the Living Brain wants to know who Spider-Man is, so he kidnaps all these people that are at the party and stuff, gives his backstory on how he became the new Living Brain and whatnot. The Living Brain, I think, is kind of underrated. I think he's a cool, kind of pulpish critter. But then we have this new one, who, once again, is very Brainiac 5. But, yeah, Spider-Man finds the original Sinister Six that were used to create this adaptoid, and gives Doc Ock his tentacles back. But Spider-Man has to free the Sinister Six to help defeat the adaptoid. Yeah, I feel like the adaptoid is maybe a bigger threat than it should be, but this is also a reformed Sandman, so he's not a villain anyway. Everyone else is a villain, though. For sure, but this is post-Reformation Sandman. But they beat that, and then they find the Living Brain, and the Sinister Six. I mean, Sandman is trying to stay out of it, but I guess the Sinister Five, the Fearsome Five, it doesn't matter. They want to kill the Living Brain. They want to destroy it. And of course, Spider-Man's like, you can't kill it. I know it's a machine, but it's a sentient machine. It's still a life. You can't just kill it. And Spider-Man's willing to sacrifice his life to save a supervillain. But then the Living Brain steps in, gets rid of the Sinister Six. And there's even one point where there's 3 sparks on the Living Brain's head, and I swear to God, he looks just like Brainiac. But he knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man. When he said he wanted to know who Spider-Man was, that's not what he meant. What he meant was he wanted to know what makes Spider-Man tick, why he does what he does, and who he is on the inside, which is not the best reveal because you kind of, you know, you kind of get it, right? I mean, it's... He kidnaps everyone at Peter's birthday. So, like, he knows he's Peter. But we do get a big kiss of Black Cat, which is good because I think Black Cat is better for Peter than MJ. Fuck off. Then the Vulture's granddaughter kind of finds out he's a supervillain, and we're back to Romita Jr.'s square-ass art. And instead of processing this in a healthy way, because when his granddaughter basically says she doesn't want anything to do with him anymore, because he's a murderer and a kidnapper and a thief and all kinds of different type of felon, he's like, I'll go show Spider-Man. I'm going to go murder Spider-Man right now, and I'm not going to hold back. Because apparently he's been doing that, holding back. Probably more for his own safety because he's a frail old man, and less for Spider-Man's safety because he is a cold-hearted killer. But Toombs here, the Vulture, has it pointed out to him by Spider-Man that most people, when confronted with this, would have looked inside themselves and been like, wow, this life of crime has cost me my family. I should put a stop to it. I should become better and earn my family back. But he doesn't. His next thought is violent murder, violent crime. We see a little MJ with a very awkward... God, like, Peter, just stop talking to MJ, man. Like, you guys broke up. She has kids with another man now. Just stop being such a little weirdo, dude. Stop being a weirdo. We got more of Paul, who the fans hate, but he's not super hateable yet. So far, he's a pretty nice guy. Peter's just a huge creep. A huge creep. But, we're at Oscorp. Miss Marvel's working there. Pretty cool. And Norman is like, hey, Peter, I want to give you a job here, and this will be kind of my way for making up for things. I'll pay you well, so you can pay off all this insane medical debt that you have from the Spider-Man Beyond books that I've read but not reviewed. And he's like, and here's a really cool spider suit with like a gold symbol and all this tech and a glider. And when you want to be a hero, you can just leave work whenever you want. You don't have to worry about it, because I know you're Spider-Man, and I want to help, so whenever you have to leave work to go save someone, or you're late to work to save someone, it's fine, it's cool. There won't be any repercussions, because I know you're doing good, and I'll help you do good. Spider-Man's like, well, why don't you do it if you want this superhero stuff done so badly? And Norman's like, if I get back on the glider, I'm afraid I won't be able to get off. I'm really afraid that if I do that, I'll become the Goblin again, even if I am trying to be a hero. Because if you didn't read the Nick Spencer run, Norman Osborn's sins were removed from him by the Sin Eater, and he became good. For now. Anyway, back to the fight with the Vulture. He's kicking Spider-Man's ass. Absolutely wrecking him. Just wrecking him. It's pretty crazy. But he tries to get the new suit, and eventually he does. And he uses the big spider glider, and it's a really good looking suit. The glider is a little weird to have, to be completely honest. But like the suit with all the gold bits and stuff on it, the gold eyes, the gold spider, the gold tech in the arms, admittedly looks really good. But yeah, Peter ends up joining up with Osborn. It's kind of insane. There's also a story about Spider-Man in college and fighting Mysterio and being on talk shows, which isn't like a super necessary read. It's just a little bonus thing in the back. And of course, a variant cover gallery, which is really cool. I wish each variant cover got its own page. Some of them are 3 to a page, and it makes them harder to appreciate, but that's the way it is. So, final thoughts. So far, I'm liking this book more than most. Most people seem to hate this run. So far, I'm enjoying it. This, I thought, was a pretty good volume. I like the stuff with the Vulture. I think this new dynamic with Norman is interesting. I like that he's being put back with Felicia Hardy, because I prefer him with Black Cat over MJ. I'm sorry, okay? I prefer him with someone who can kind of, go into battle with him, I guess. And yeah, Peter's a little freak in this book, and the art isn't always the best. But so far, the story isn't too bad, and I did like the Living Brain story. Even though I thought it might have had a bit too much of an emphasis on comedy, other than that, it was pretty good. So yeah, this is fine. It's a fine volume. It's nothing mind-blowing. It's nothing crazy. I still definitely prefer the Nick Spencer run before it, but this volume wasn't so bad. I have Volume 3. I've read it, but I actually don't remember anything from it. I gotta reread it. But that'll probably be the next Amazing Spider-Man book I do, unless I go back and finish the Nick Spencer first. But that is it for Volume 2 of The Amazing Spider-Man. So that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Please remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.